Welcome to Story Detective 2019. I have a mystery box. It's another lightsaber video, and some people asked if I was going to still do those on a writing channel. The answer is yes, but I'm going to find ways to work in maybe something about stories, whether it's Star Wars or structure, but I'm not going to do that today. I've had a cold all week, and I know that I have some friends who've also opted into this, and we're just looking forward to seeing what we got. So it's going to be a straightforward unboxing this time around. More announcements on the channel coming up. So Saber Forge, this is a company that I've wanted to order from for a while. They've reputedly started in 2008 with one guy in a spare closet and a miniature lathe building lightsabers. He's turned his dream into a 15,000 square foot warehouse with machinists and designers. They are still relatively small and independent, and I'm glad they decided to do another run of mystery boxes because that gives people a chance to sample the quality. The mystery boxes start at $125. You could get anywhere from a stunt lightsaber, meaning light without sound, to something that could have sound upgrades right up to, I guess, maybe $500 or $600 worth of product. They also have one that's guaranteed with sound, and that's $250. Now, both tiers of lightsabers are available on their site still, so if you're interested, you might want to hop over to saberforge.com and check out what they have to offer. When it comes to ordering this, there's some extras. You can get like blade length, blade plug, some various things. I had two upgrades aside from the 125. That was a battery and a battery charger, which you need anyway, and a random blade plug because they have a lot of blade plugs. And with so many different lightsaber designs, I figured I would leave it up to these artisans of the lightsaber to make that decision for me and see what they come up with. I didn't want to inhibit them by saying, okay, let's put this blade plug in this design. Okay, so without further ado, let's see what these people have come up with and what we've got here. Okay. Let's get rid of this. Is there anything else in there? No. Okay. Okay, there's the battery charger. Some instructions, which we'll look at in a couple of minutes. And okay, so it looks like this is the weathered version of the Sentinel, which is one of their sabers under the Shoto line. It's a little more lightly weathered than the photo on the website, which I think is great because the light weathering to me is exactly what I would have wanted. That is pretty cool. That's very cool, actually. Leather wrap. There's the blade plug. Doesn't look like we have any sound, but we have a blue that looks like a basic Guardian blue color. CoverTech wheel. Okay, let's get the blade in this and get a shot with the blade in, and then we'll do some close-ups and see how it looks. Get some specs on this thing. Got a lot of lights around, so it's pretty bright even beneath all these lights. And look at those windows, that's nice. I wanted to show you the CoverTech wheel, which is a nice little design. Get a better look at the blade plug as well. Gonna be hard not to drown out the camera with the light, so maybe we can do it this way. So as far as the design and the etchings, I would say Saber Forge gets an 11 out of 10 because no one can say that they skimp on the aesthetics of the Saber. But how does it match up for practical purposes? Well, there's several things. I mean, it's really light, which some people would like, but the fact that it's really light can also present some problems. Now, this is the Shoto Saber, so it's just a step up above the Youngling, so it's still kind of, I don't know if you want to say beginners, maybe an intermediary, but definitely more of a smaller one-handed deal. I've kind of got into those recently, especially with the colder months here on the East Coast. If I have to use this in the house, something that's a little bit lighter with a 24-inch blade works better, so I'm not hitting everything. But when you put like a 32-inch blade in there, the balance point of this is like way out here. The blade well is like almost 2 3/4 inches deep, so that's good. The button, I'm not sure if you can see it, but the button sticks out a bit. So when you're down here in the choke point, you're frequently hitting the button because it's not inset enough and there's nothing around the button to guard it. So that's a bit of a problem. The bigger problem is this edge right here. It's not tapered. They tapered it here, they tapered it here, but here it sticks out. So when you're spinning from that point, it's grinding right into your hand here. Also the balance, like I said, being the fact that the balance point is so far out, you're always compensating. It's really top heavy. This is a heavy grade blade that they sent me though, so it's definitely all the weight is up front. So you're constantly, see how I hit the button? That happens almost all the time when you're trying to spin. So that's a little bit of a flaw in the design part, I think. But is that ultimately a fail? I think there are some solutions. I have here a mid-grade blade that's lighter, which I think will make a huge difference. So putting in a bit of a lighter blade for this, and also what I've noticed, there are some other lightsabers from competitors that have this edge that sticks out too. And that's something I think that should be considered in designs. If you're looking for balance and whether you're going to duel with it or spin with it. I mean, France has designated lightsaber dueling is kind of a competitive sport, and I think we're not that far from it because we have a lot of people over here doing it. And these things I think are going to be factors when it becomes even more of a professional thing, that we're going to have lightsabers that are for aesthetics and lightsabers that are more for balance. Now this is the heaviest pommel that I have that'll fit on here to balance that out. And once I get the heavier pommel on and the lighter blade, I can definitely feel it makes a huge difference. That brings it up from maybe like a 4 or 5 to a 7 or 8 out of 10 as far as the balance. So I would suggest if you're buying the Sentinel, find whatever meatiest pommel that Saber Forge has and order that, which is what I'm going to do in the future. Get something that'll match the weathered surface and order something. I think a bigger pommel will give it some character, and it definitely makes a huge difference in the balance. Now it's like so much easier compared to what it was initially, so it's definitely, that's the solution. Lighter blade, heavy pommel, add a little weight to this thing back here, a little less up here, and you've got something that's right up there. Not perfect, but 7 or 8 out of 10. So remember to like, subscribe, and share, and check out my other Saber reviews, tech reviews, and writing videos. If you ever thought about writing and who hasn't, we definitely have some good stuff coming up, because 2019 we're going to take things to the next level in season 2 of The Story Detective, so stay tuned.